Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to another episode of the Sports Cup Perspectives, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As always, this is me, your boy Larry B, joined by my beautiful wife, the lovely Cecilia. How are you doing this evening?
Hey everyone, I'm good. A little tired.
Poor thing. Another crazy week, but she's a trooper, y'all. Applause button. She's a trooper. She's hanging in there today. That's all she's gonna say.
Yeah.
Poor thing. It's okay. Maybe we should get some coffee.
We should have.
It's okay.
But
No coffee tonight. But we have a really cool story, and I'll tell you right now, the description of the show is definitely a cliffhanger. But we got a cool story for you guys today. 100% football today, and let's just say it's gonna be a fun show. Tonight, we are talking of CNN 10's brand new star, Mr. Coy Wire, former NFL player, and the oh-so-famous, about a decade ago, Chris Borland story of the San Francisco 49ers. How does that even connect? Well, we'll definitely get into that in a little bit. But of course, we are here on a beautiful Friday evening. Isn't it beautiful outside right now?
Yeah, it is a nice day today.
Right? Don't you love days like this?
You always say it's too hot though.
It's hot, but it was a little breezy.
Well, it was kind of nice.
It was nice. So, anyway, y'all, we're going to have ourselves a fun one tonight. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. You're now tuned in live to the Sports Cup Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, we appreciate you all for tuning in tonight. It's going to be a fun show. It really is. We're excited for it. And as always, we just thank you guys so very much for being here today. As we always say, God above all, we appreciate the man above, of course, for doing all he does for us every single day. Big ups to the man above, for without him, nothing is possible. And of course, without all of you guys out there, IE Sports Radio is not possible. We appreciate y'all so much for being here tonight, showing us love, and being a part of the IE Sports Radio family in one way or another, whether you're listening live on Spreaker.com, whether you're listening on Spreaker.com later on the podcast version, or anywhere. We are everywhere. Isn't that crazy all over the place? Isn't it crazy how many places we are now?
It's not crazy. It's awesome.
Isn't it? Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio. What?
Mm-hmm.
We are every. Cecilia was like tripping out the other day. I was showing her like the geographical thing where it shows like where people listen to us from in the world.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool to see.
People in Brazil, pretty cool. You know, like pretty cool people all over the place. Shout out all of them. Brazil, Canada. I saw some European countries over there listening to us. Australia, pretty cool, right? So we appreciate y'all for supporting us, and thank you so very much. So, big shout out to the chat room, of course, here today. Adam Karnick and Kale Henderson. Good evening to both of y'all here. Adam Karnick says, it's football weather in the Midwest today. Must be a nice cold day. Oh, that's my kind of day.
Yeah, you like the cold.
Oh, yeah. Nice, cool day. The sun's nowhere near. And it's just,
I need sun.
Nice little breeze and just a nasty, cold-looking, just a ugly-looking day to play an ugly sport that we love so much. Just me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, sorry. But anyway, so with that said, you guys, tonight, football has returned! Oh, yeah. It's here, y'all. Football has returned. We are ready to rock and roll. Last night's game, what about that? The Lions upset the Chiefs. How about that? Was that something?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I thought the Chiefs would win it.
Yeah, we all did, but apparently, man,
they really wanted it.
Well, no Travis Kelce, no
They're
Chiefs
gonna
victory.
come back with fury.
Well, we're gonna see what they come back as, but what a game! I was very impressed, but really, really, really excited to see this Lions team play as good as they did. And you know what? That's good. I love it. That team, my goodness, they're the only team in NFL history to go 0-16, to have a winless season in 2008. And to see this team, I mean, I get it, we're decades later, but still, it's really cool to see this team finally turning something, right? Turning a corner.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so with that said, how was your week?
It was good. It was a short week, but it felt like a long week.
That's exactly what I wanted to ask, because I don't know if you guys... I seriously don't know if you guys out there feel the same way, but this was a short week because of Labor Day, if anybody got Labor Day off. This was a short week, and it seriously felt like instead of having Monday taken off, we had 2 Mondays. Mm-hmm. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of crazy how, like, I don't know, it feels so...
Yeah, that's what I said. It was a short week, but it felt like a long week.
Well, I'll tell you, it was just one of those weeks where it felt kind of draggy, but at least we had a good time, and at work, I guess. I mean, it wasn't the hardest of weeks. Just felt like it took forever, and yeah, I don't know. Isn't it crazy? On some states, they're starting to try to make that 3-day weekend a thing.
Yeah, some places are trying to do that. Some of them, I think, already have started doing that.
What do you think? Do you think it's a good deal or a bad deal? What do you think?
I wish we would partake in that. That would be great. But I don't know. They're already saying that there's some bad things to it too. So I don't know. Well,
the students definitely wouldn't be on task as much.
Yeah.
I feel like that would pull away. I feel like, I guess that's a negative. I guess a positive would be more rest. Then another negative just screams at me, of course, less money.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sucky.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then parents who have kids would have to pay more for daycare.
Which is crazy, right? I mean, so if you think about these things, man, I don't know. So, what do you guys in the chat room think? Is a 3-day weekend, should that be a thing, or should we just keep it to Saturday and Sunday? I don't know. This is kind of crazy. Should Friday be an off day? Should it? So, anyway, the reason why I even bring that up is because, well, we learned about this from a really cool source. A week ago or a couple weeks ago?
No, I think it was sometime last year because they didn't talk about it this year. It just started up again.
Well, no, I'm trying to segue into our segment here. Just a couple of days ago, Cecilia pops on one of her, obsessions now, and I love it. CNN 10. And for anybody who doesn't know what CNN 10 is, well, go ahead. What do you think?
Well, obviously it's through CNN. They call it CNN 10 because it was created mainly for teachers, students, basically the classroom. It's really nice because it's short, sweet, and to the point about main things, main topics, and current events that are happening around our world within the 10 minutes. So it's really cool. I like it. Very informative. I like it. I like watching this a whole lot more than watching the news because I feel like they give you a whole bunch of other stuff that's not important. Whereas this, like I said, it's short, sweet, to the point, and gives you all the major points that are going on and everything that in our world.
Which is awesome. CNN 10 is absolutely awesome. Mm-hmm. Let's be real. I love how it's this little snippet, and that's the name, correct? CNN 10 for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's literally 10 minutes.
That's super cool because the news. Okay, let's just call it as it is, guys. The news is depressing.
I mean, it's not always depressing, but for the most part, yes.
I hate the news. I'll watch anything else but the news. all it is this happened. I mean, for every good thing, there's like 5 or 6 bad things. It's depressing. So hearing the interesting, cool stuff like CNN 10, I think it's really neat. Now, where did we even learn about CNN 10 from? So, a couple years back when I was a sub, district-wide, I would cruise around, and there's a really cool school that Cecilia now works at full-time, and they have this little thing that they do that they play for the students called CNN 10.
Well, it depends on the teacher if they want to show it or not.
Well, it depends on the teacher, but it's cool. I saw it, and I said, oh, it's a really cool little news source and everything, but I never really thought much of it. Well, now that Cecilia starts working there, she got to watch it a lot last year. Mm-hmm. And it's cool. There was a a point in time where she was like, I guess I want to watch CNN 10, and I wish that, she said, I just love watching it every day. It's like, this is my news. And I loved that. So, of course, this year, they transitioned teachers and everything. I should stay with the same teacher, but it's a different kind of class. And interestingly enough, they're not playing CNN 10 in this particular class. And it's, and of course, it's, once again, every teacher has their own way of doing things and everything. But Cecilia's like, I really miss this. So in the morning, our routine, I get up in the morning, lift, cross the street at the gym, come back home, wake up Cecilia, actually take a shower. Then I go to sleep for another 15, 20 minutes because it feels good to sleep after such a crazy lift and a run so early in the morning at 5 a.m. Then we get up with her alarm clock. Coffee's already made. We get some coffee. She, the amazing wife she is, makes my lunch. Well, both of our lunches. I shave and do whatever else I got to do, get dressed, and it's like I'm out the door and everything. So she didn't really get a chance to watch CNN 10 a lot. So what I started doing was getting her tablet and setting CNN 10 up for her really quick. I put it on right there next to her while she's making our lunches. And, I can hear it too, of course. And it's crazy because they talked about that topic, about the smaller work weeks or smaller, having the extra day. So I thought it was really cool. I really thought it was awesome that they still have it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can watch it on the actual website at CNN, or you can watch it on YouTube, that's where I mainly watch it because I don't want to have to go to their website. You already have YouTube, and it's just easy right there, and you just type in CNN 10, and boom, pops up.
It's pretty cool. I mean, and I enjoy it myself. I think it's a really neat thing. And it's cool, before, remember last year, she showed me, one with Lewis Hamilton on. It's like, oh, there was a race car driver or everything. I mean, it's really cool stuff, but it's kind of crazy. This last year, the hosts disappeared. I mean, not disappeared, but they got a new host. The former host, Carl Azuz, I believe, A-Z-U-Z. And I read about it, real quick. He gets personal reasons. He went on a different direction. But this year, they bring on a new dude.
No, last year.
Last year.
Because he started in 2022, but he was already with CNN 10 in 2015.
Well, this is really cool.
Anyway, yeah.
That a guy by the name of Coy Wire. I'll be real with you. As much as I loved the game of football and knew tons of players, especially during the time that I was in high school, between 2002 and 2010, which is when he actually played in the NFL, I didn't really know too much about him at all. And I was like, I don't know if the name sounds familiar, so I had to look it up this morning. And because Cecilia told me, you gotta watch one of the most recent CNN 10s.
I know, and I forgot to send that to you today. I was going to send it to you so you could already watch it, but it's not bad. Good.
But it's crazy because she's like, it said that he played in the NFL. Well, yeah, I looked him up. The dude played for Stanford. And, he graduated in 2021. And then he played in the NFL from 2002 to 2010. He played 6 years with the Bills and 2 years with the Falcons before calling it a career. And this morning, of course, Cecilia and I, we do the voice messages back and forth. I'm on my commute to work and everything. And it's crazy because we were talking about that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy because that's, in my opinion, that's a very successful career. Whether I knew the guy's name or not, or knew who he was or where he played, he's a linebacker / safety, it said. And it's crazy because I didn't even know him, but he played. And here's the crazy part. to me, that is a very, very successful career, no matter what. 8 freaking years in the NFL. Because I told Cecilia, I says, I'll tell you right now, a lot of guys call it quits after high school. Mm-hmm. A lot of guys call it quits after junior college. A lot of guys call it quits after they play in the NCAA. It doesn't matter what level. Or the NAIA, college, some type of, 4-year institution. A lot of guys just, it's hard to get to that next level. You try to get into training camps. 1 or 2 training camps, maybe 3, and a lot of players are like, okay, this isn't for me no more. A lot of guys will actually get a contract and get signed, and maybe they're a bust, maybe they're great, maybe they're a 6th rounder like Tom Brady and have a legendary career. He's the only one to do that, really. Do what he's done. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Maybe you're overlooked and now you're this big-time name. Maybe you're from a small school and now you're a big-time starter, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. But in my opinion, as we know, the NFL, like I always tell Cecilia, it really doesn't stand for National Football League. It stands for not for long. Because that's exactly what your career is. It's not for long. You're there for a little bit, but it's not for long. So a guy like Coy Wire, to play 8 years in the league, that's pretty dang successful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He made it through at least 2 contracts,
which
is amazing because some guys can't even get 1 contract. And if you do get 1 contract, you're 1 or 2 years out, 1 or 2 years in, and that's it. You're a wash, you're done, and everyone forgets about you, and we move forward with all the new guys. And before you know it, people forget about them too. I mean, it's just crazy how fast we move and we forget. But this guy shouldn't really be forgotten because he's a badass. He played there for 9 years. I mean, for 8 years, which is really cool. So I started thinking this morning on the way to work, and we were talking about that. This guy, it says here he's a DB. I Googled him again. 185 solo tackles, 66 assists, and 5 sacks in his career. That's pretty good. The guy played pretty good.
Yeah.
And then once again, he played for Stanford. I think he was an all Pac-12 player, I think. But regardless, Coy Wire played in the NFL. And now it's really cool because he has that like fun, bubbly personality for kids, you can tell.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because now he's the face of CNN 10, and he's doing an amazing job.
Oh, yeah. He does really well at his job.
Right? I mean, what do you think? When you see him on there, what do you think? He delivers it, doesn't he?
Yeah. Like you said, he's very bubbly, happy, he seems very humble and like a very genuine, nice guy.
Exactly. And I love what he brings, he has a really cool deal, and okay, so this morning when we were thinking about that, think about this, okay, successful careers, right? I started thinking like about my career personally, and I was like, man, it's like it's crazy, I mean, I haven't played the last 2 seasons, of course, just due to getting my career going. As you guys know, IA Sports Radio has been hard for me to even be the CEO of because of how crazy things have gotten because of the stupid, worthless state testing to become a full-time teacher and all of the credential work that is absolutely worthless, but at least I'm doing it because got to satisfy the state, right? And doing all that, lots and lots and lots of work, of course. With the higher job comes the higher, the higher pay, too, of course, comes the higher responsibility and doing all. So it's hard sometimes, really, a lot of you out there, you guys understand. It's kind of tough. So it's been tough, and I do intend to play at least 1 more season coming up. I'm getting up there in age, I'm already 34, and football, it's getting up there. And, hey, maybe 1 more season coming up. I don't know. God willing, we'll see. But I want to make sure I get that full-timer first. And that's it, you guys. That might be it. And I'm proud of that. I'm excited to say that I've been able to play this game for as long as I have. And it has been such a blessing, and this is, of course, playing through through high school, through junior college, the NCAA, and then semi-pro for a good amount of years. And you know what? I don't care if semi-pro isn't professional or doesn't count or whatever. At the end of the day, it's the game that I love, and I got to play it, and I thank God every day that I've gotten a chance to do that up till now. And even forward after this. And giving me the beautiful gift of resilience, and also giving me the beautiful gift of lifting weights and going to my next journey, of course, which is powerlifting and strongman. So I thought about how cool that was, and I was thinking to myself, well, you're not very successful because you didn't even get to the professionals. But then I thought to myself, well, maybe that wasn't my calling. God wanted me somewhere different. And then I thought about this. I automatically thought, well, look at somebody like Chris Borland. Chris Borland, I mean, he's the guy that was this amazing stud coming out of college from Wisconsin, and well, he retired because of the risk of head injuries. Unfortunately, he had a few, and it's kind of scary. And then of course, I know I saw this video a while back, but I clicked on over to Flemlo Raps and played one of his videos, of course, the video he did on Chris Borland, and I just was watching it, and I was enjoying it this morning before I went into work, and it's crazy because I was like, oh man, I'm over there in the parking lot watching it, and I'm getting ready, I'm like, okay, I gotta show Cecilia when we get home. I think I already showed her a while back, but regardless, Flemlo Raps does an amazing job. That guy is awesome, and of course, I'm a huge fan of his. He did this back on April 10th, 2023, and I already watched this video a while back, but I wanted to watch it again, and his story is just so beautiful, so I came home right now, I got home from work, played it for Cecilia and I, and we watched it together, and, well, once again, career, success, non-success, retired, not retired, whatever it may be. So if you think about it, kind of crazy, right? So that's how this whole thing came together and how we started talking about all that. So that's tonight's show and the flow of it and what we're going to get into. But first things first, I got to ask, what do you think? Looking at Coy Wire's, his career, you know what? That's a pretty good career, and now he's doing something really cool in broadcasting. And if you didn't know him then, well, you'll know him now. Mm-hmm. But isn't it cool how life after football, this guy just turns into something else? And I really do feel that even though he played on that field, he may think to himself, well, maybe I'm not a Hall of Famer. But if you think about it, there's somebody out there right now watching CNN 10 going, man, this guy's amazing, and he may not be an NFL Hall of Famer, but he's a CNN 10 Hall of Famer to me. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm glad that, he made his time with football and everything like that, and then, his career ended with that. And now that he does CNN 10, I'm glad that he's with them now and doing this because, yeah, I don't think I would have watched CNN 10.
Yeah, he definitely brings a new dynamic to it, and I love what he does. And once again, he's a very exciting guy, and I really feel like he's a true exciting. He's a truly exciting, appealing person to kids. Mm-hmm. I feel like and CNN 10. If you read about it, it's based for like 13 and up. Like teens.
I mean, it's school in general, so whatever age you want to start showing it, but yeah. Even adults, though, too, to be honest. Yeah,
I'd rather watch CNN 10 than the news any day. Mm-hmm. So, once again, I think it's really cool. And,
you can tell he loves what he does.
Oh, yeah. And it's cool because he came from a good community as well, like such as the Bills. I mean, we listen to Patty, of course. Patty Bax, the host of our Buffalo show, the Buffalo Huddle. And it's amazing because that community is so tight-knit over there. And you can tell they loved him, no matter what. The Bills... From when he played in those 8 years that he was there, from 2002 to 2000 and what is that? Or 6 years he was there to 2006 or 2008. I'm sorry, it was all over the place. The Bills weren't that good at all. Mm-hmm. Of course, that was in the early years of the Tom Brady era, but it's crazy to think that so what? These people still love him. I put this in the chat room earlier, and even Patty said here, he was an amazing player, and, go Bills, and that's really cool. So to think that he made a career, out of football and did what he did, maybe not a Hall of Famer one day, I don't know, maybe, I mean, I didn't really remember him, I really didn't. But that just goes to show, even if I don't remember him, the guy still had a great career, and it's cool because he is one of the small percentage of people that can say they actually played in the NFL or a professional sport in general. Mm-hmm. And now look at him, what he's doing, So I just feel like that success is really cool. And tonight's show is going to be a lot like that. We're going to get into Chris Borland. Mm-hmm. Of course, I know we're already halfway through the show, but we're going to take ourselves a little break in a few minutes here. But, what is a success? What is it? Think about it. So that's a little philosophical, if you will. What is success? Is success what you think is success? Is success what somebody else thinks about you success? You know, my grandmother once said, some people's success is looking up at others people's success. That's a little deep right there. You know? So, I mean, what do you define success as?
I think just doing what you love and going after your dreams, fulfilling your goals that you've met, little or big. And yeah, and just doing what you love. I feel like that is success, because when you have either the career or you're at a certain point in your life, but you're happy about it, then I feel like that is your success.
And it's hard for somebody like myself who never got to play it down in the NFL, even though, you know, I really do feel like I wish I could have had a better chance. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of guys out there that can say the same exact thing. Ton of guys out there. And at the end of the day, you know, am I a failure because I didn't make it? No. But when you love something so much like football, it kind of feels that way sometimes, because you're like, well, the thing that I love more than pretty much anything else is this. And if I'm not successful at this, then I'm a failure in life. I had that thought process for a while in my early 20s when I just, didn't go further than college. You know, and it's crazy though, because the entire spin on this is the fact that if you look at somebody like Chris Borland, it's like you can tell he loved football more than a lot of things in life, but he still stepped away due to something that was bigger than him. And that is crazy because, you know, his own life was much bigger versus risking it or risking injury to the brain. So crazy, crazy stuff there. So like I said, tonight, a little philosophical, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So really quick, like I said, we're giving ourselves a quick break, but we got to get to this. So as you guys know, we are Storm fans. Our Lake Elsinore Storm. This is a great time to mention our sponsor, of course, of IA Sports Radio, Planet Jerky. Delicious, all brisket premium beef jerky. Isn't it good?
Very good.
So good. We should get a few bags.
I know, we haven't seen him, or we haven't gone. We need to get some, definitely.
Right?
That sounds so good right now.
Seriously. I'm so down for some jerky. So, anyway, if you guys want some of that delicious jerky too, make sure to head on over to planetjerky.net. Grab you some jerky. Oh, you will not be disappointed. Such good jerky. The official jerky of IA Sports Radio, of course, Planet Jerky, and the official jerky of the Lake Elsinore Storm, the San Diego Padres minor league affiliation, single A. And look, looking at the standings right now, the Storm, man, our Lake Elsinore Storm is just, it's just falling apart at the seams. It's frustrating because so many of those guys got called up to the next level in the last couple of months. Mm-hmm. We lost so much of that talent. But it's crazy because it hurts. You want to see your team do good in the minors, but then you're happy for them when they go. But as of right now, I think our playoff hopes are pretty much over. Right now, the Storm is trailing the Inland Empire 66ers, a minor league affiliate of the Angels, by 4 games. And, well, there's only 3 games left. Therefore, the Storm is basically eliminated because the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, they won the first half of the year in the Cal League South, and they're already going. And now the Inland Empire 66ers just stamped their ticket, so it's going to be the 66ers taking on the Quakes in the South, and up north, the San Jose Giants went ahead and won that first half in the North, and right now it looks like Modesto is going to win that second spot. So it looks like both teams that were in the California League Championship last year are out. Fresno and Lake Elsinore.
Oh, dang it.
But once again, players leave.
Yeah.
And off to bigger, better things. So we got our ring. We got our replica ring.
Yeah.
So I guess all the best. Modesto versus Modesto versus San Jose up north, and Inland Empire versus Rancho Cucamonga in the south. May the best team win.
Yep.
So, anyway.
Too bad it's not the Storm. It's okay. Maybe next year.
So, anyway, guys, we're going to take ourselves a quick break. When we get back, we're going to jump really into that Chris Borland story. And hey, it's a good way of going into football season with a totally different mindset. Like I said, tonight's going to be a little philosophical, so hopefully you're around for it. Once again, you're listening to the Sports Club Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all. That is sports. We'll be right back after this.
What up, Boston sports fans? This is Mikey Two Guns here, your host of Our Bleepin' City, airing every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Please join me. We'll talk everything Boston sports, all the local teams, college teams. I'm even down to talk MMA, boxing, whatever you guys want. So join me every Wednesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Chime in with your questions on the chat, tweet the show. We'll even have call-ins. I can't wait to hear from you guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. So once again, it's Our Bleepin' City. I am your host, Mikey Two Guns, every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. See you soon, people.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo Sports with a Twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Couple Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We are back at it. Second half of the show, and it's going to be a doozy. You know where that comes from?
No.
So there was a really old car called a Duesenhammer.
I think you've told me this before.
And back in the day, people were like, that's a doozy. I know, I sound like... I wish we had an effect like that. Like this one.
No.
I wish we had one that said, that's a doozy. Like an old person.
Yeah, don't do that.
I
You're trying too hard.
want to try it. Let me see if I can like mix my voice sound like an old person.
No.
That's a doozy. Like, no. Come on, it'd be fun.
I'm pretty sure you can find it however you found those ones.
Now, that would be a doozy. I think that'd be pretty funny. So, anyway. With that said, y'all, we are back for the second half of our show tonight. Make sure to stay tuned. You already heard earlier today our boy Taryn Rodriguez talking all about them SoCal sports, getting ready for the season, the NFL season in SoCal, with the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. Then we had Mr. John Felipe getting ready for them Panthers with Carolina Cast. Then you got us right here, of course, my beautiful wife Cecilia and myself, on the Sports Cup Perspectives. And then ending off the night, we got our boy Mr. Mike Pat. Oh yeah. Yeah. We got our boy in the chat tonight too. Join him for Let's Whine About Sports. Let's Whine About DMV Sports. Talking a delicious wine, and of course, he will be talking all about them DMV sports, getting you ready for Ravens and Commanders football. So, yeah, man, shout out to him in the chat room. Adam says Cecilia's not enjoying the buttons tonight. I think she should.
No.
I'm about to press one right now. Mm-mm. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. She's keeping my hand away from him, you guys. She's fighting me. She's fighting me. I want my buttons. Where's my buttons?
Nope.
Ooh, Mike says in the Pat room, Sauvignon Blanc tonight. Ooh, that sounds delicious. That sounds dreamy. Ooh, yeah. So, anyway, I am really happy that we have so many great shows here at IE Sports Radio. So thank you to everyone. Cecilia just officially took away the buttons from me. Gosh dang it. Okay, well, I tried. So anyway, with that said, getting a little bit deeper on Chris Borland. Now, we're supposed to be excited. We are. We absolutely, Mike in the chat room. Be careful which buttons you press there. Yeah, that comes from a experienced married man there. I'm only a year and a half in, guys. So yeah, almost a year and a half. So yeah, gotta not press certain buttons. So because yeah, she's gonna clock me in the head. She just raised her fist right now. Yeah, right? She's all angry right now. Look at her.
I'm not angry.
Anyway, so with that said, you guys, we, talking here about Chris Borland, like I said, we're excited. We absolutely love our football. I mean, it's what we do. We're Americans. We love this sport. But when it really comes down to it, you guys, think about it. There's also the other side. And we didn't want to start off football season with a scary thing, but Cecilia and I, I remember our first shows of doing this show a few years back. We talked about the movie Concussion. We talked about concussions. We even talked about Chris Borland. But interestingly enough, to talk about this, this whole topic it's touchy. Especially with somebody who loves football, like myself and like everybody in the chat. And we know it's a dangerous game. But telling you a little bit of Chris Borland's story, if you guys check out the Flemlo Raps video, it's amazing, called Meet the Linebacker Who Retired Because He Was quote-unquote too afraid to tackle. He wasn't too afraid. It's just unfortunately, he just, he saw things for what they were and realized that football was a extremely dangerous game that he loved to play. But then, of course, a lot of unfortunate things, CTE around then. We know that legendary linebacker Junior Seau, took his life. Unfortunately, a lot of players did because their brains were so messed up. They were hearing voices, just a lot of really messed up things. And it's a scary game. We love it, and he just came to the conclusion. He loved it. I love it. Once again, we all love football. But he came to the conclusion, you guys, that football just couldn't be played any other way than barbaric. The only way to play it is that way. And as much as he loved the sport, it's something that he no longer wanted to do because he didn't want to have brain injuries like that one day that could alter his life. Mm-hmm. I mean, stepping away from the game at, what 24 years old?
Yeah, he was pretty young.
He played half a season. That was a crazy year. Patrick Willis retired because of all those injuries. Navarro Bowman retired. Well, not retired, but I think it did retire him. But he tore his ACL. The San Francisco 49ers were stacked. They were just coming off of a Super Bowl loss to the Ravens. This team had so much. And then, of course, drafting, Slumlow said here, according to his video, drafted Borland in the 3rd round. It was a steal. And this guy, of course, being an absolute monster in high school. If you check out Flimlow's video, you can see the video where he does a front flip over the line in high school.
That was crazy.
Right? The guy's amazing.
He, flew and then flipped.
Crazy, right? Yeah, amazing.
How do you jump that far?
The guy was just an athlete. 5'11", a little bit taller than me, 250, right around the same weight. He just, guys like him gave me hope. Mm-hmm. Like Zach Thomas, the smaller guys that... and I loved that. And I just thought that, he was another one of those guys I just loved to watch. Wisconsin, the guy was just amazing. But then you get into the darker side of the story where it talks about how he split a wedge one day in college on the kickoff, and he doesn't remember it. And he doesn't necessarily... He had a horrible headache. His head was pounding, and he didn't want to go to sleep that night. He had to fight himself to not go to sleep because he thought that he was probably not going to wake up because of how horrible his brain injury could be. Can you imagine that?
No, that'd be scary.
How sad, right? Mm-hmm. And you think about that, and it's just, I don't know. It's really, really scary to think, we love this game. It's amazing. It's something that we are trying to make safer, but let's just face it, this game is primal. Mm-hmm. This game is barbaric, and you gotta be an absolute psycho. I remember my coach just told me that, and you've heard me say this many times here on this show. Both my wife and you guys have heard me say it millions of times. I've heard, old coaches tell us, you gotta be a little off in the head to play this game. It's the truth. You can't be all there. You can't be somebody who thinks logically if you want to play this game, because you're asking to get hurt. It's any sport. But football, man, it's a crazy sport, and you're really going to get a lot of head injuries. I used to use my head in high school, and I'm glad I stopped doing that when I got to college and semi-pro. But I just feel, I did a few times during those times. But I just want to say that it's crazy to think, And we look at the chat room here. Mike Pack, say I was absolutely heartbreaking. Yes, Adam Karnick. Football appeals to our inner Neanderthal. It's primal. It really is. Mike Pat also says Borland was a beast, a thumper, but I can't argue with his decision or with the decision. Mm-hmm. So now we talk about that, and he played, he took over halfway through the season for the Niners. He balled out, played for the San Francisco 49ers very well, and before you know it, he finds himself with another splitting head injury or headache or whatever it was, and he starts bringing back those old thoughts of, oh my gosh, this is me again. He was taking Toradol at one point. Like a lot of players do, I know that. A major painkiller. His buddy, I forgot his buddy's name. This is in Flemlow's video, but
I forgot the name too.
He freaking tore his knee and came back in the same week because it tore it all, and just it's crazy to think. So we put ourselves through this. We love the game, but at the end of the day, look at Patrick Willis. He retired early because he's like, these injuries are too much. You got like Nnamdi Asomugha, who played for the Raiders and then for the Eagles. He retired at 32. Some of these guys are like, hey, I came, I saw, I conquered. Maybe they didn't get a ring, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But a lot of these guys call it a career after a while because they know the long effects of not just being an athlete, but being a football player. So, Chris Borland...
That definitely takes a lot of wear and tear on the body, though. You see it for yourself. I mean, you played it too, so you should know.
No, it's true. But then you think about just being an athlete in general. Mm-hmm. This is where I want to go tonight. Success or not success? Think about that. I think to myself, I'm a failure because I didn't get to the NFL, as a undersized defensive end. But at the end of the day, you guys, I truly, it sucks, but a lot of guys feel that failure way because, once again, it's a sport we love. But Chris Borland loved the sport so much, but realized that it could severely hurt him, so he walked away from it. If that's not a adult decision, I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. He walked away from millions.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, oh, he's an idiot, or he's going to try to sabotage football or anything like that. How do you see Chris Borland after learning all of that?
Well, after watching the video, I mean, I think he was just happy that he was able to get on a team, play for the NFL for a good minute, and then, say, hey, like, all these injuries, especially to my head, is not really, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but, the best choice I want to make, or not even choice, but, like, it's just not for me anymore. I think, he did fine by that decision, and I wouldn't go against him either. He ended up doing like bigger and better things anyway. I think he just had a different calling for himself. God called him to do something else than just stay and play football.
Exactly, and that's tonight's show. That's the name of it, God's calling gives us the truth. What are we really called to do? Some of us are supposed to be in the Hall of Famers to affect lives, but other people, the ordinary people, the ones who no one really knows too much about, that make a lot of difference actually. Look at that, you guys. I didn't know that I was ever going to be called to be a teacher. Neither did my wife. But here we are. Mm-hmm. And, not to toot our own horn, but I really feel like, us and all of our colleagues do make a difference.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
there's some gratification out of it.
Exactly. And whatever you guys out there think, whatever you guys do, that's a thing for you too. You make a difference. It's just because we didn't succeed at the thing we love the absolute most, aside from, God and our significant others and our family and everything, if you think about it, we are successful, regardless of making it at the one thing that we truly loved, like so much. So, anybody out there, I think this is a big message to all those younger athletes out there too. For anybody who hears that, because, I'm glad the show is catching fire and we're getting a lot more listens and everything. But any younger athletes that this show happens to find, just know that there is life after sports, and whatever it was, maybe it is to be a professional athlete, but whatever it is out there, don't be too afraid to say, hey, this one thing that I loved a lot for so many years, maybe it's not for me no more, but this other open door over here that got opened that I'm going to go run through, that's probably my calling, and guess what? I'm going to go succeed at that the same exact way that I used to succeed at this sport for so many years. I mean, what do you think about that? Is that pretty accurate?
I think you come to realize, too, that after a certain amount of injuries, especially, obviously, the brain is a big major one, I think you realize that the side effects after all of it is not really worth it in the end. And you want to, cherish the moments that you have, and if you have, family and whatnot, then you obviously want to spend the rest of your time with them, and the bigger path that you choose to, or the different path, is obviously the one that you're supposed to be on after you choose that kind of career, I guess.
Absolutely. And you think about, so we go all the way back to Coy Wire. Look at him now. Who knows? Maybe he's had a lot of injuries. I don't know if he's had any concussions or anything. But the guy played 8 years in the NFL, and I'm
sure he has, especially playing football. I know his knees are bad. That I remember him saying that in one of the CNN 10s.
There you go. I didn't even know who he was. And that was my era of really, like, being super duper into all the players and everything. And guess what? I didn't even know who he was. And I can fully admit that. But at the end of the day, the guy's not a failure because of one person or maybe a few people didn't know who he was. The guy played 8 seasons in the NFL. That's amazing. And at the end of the day, his career is still successful. Whether he played 1 year, 2 years, 8 years like he did, or on the practice squad, or even stopped after college or high school or whatever, the guy still made it because look at him now. He's the face of CNN 10, and it's awesome. So I love those kinds of stories. And somebody like Chris Borland, he's doing a profit now, right? Like a nonprofit, or he has some kind of a thing that I saw that he's...
I don't know if it's a nonprofit, but I know he has like his own... Yeah, I would say. Yeah, like, but he has, his own, like, league, I guess you would say, and it's, I think it's called Tackle Can Wait. So, under the age of 14 and younger, they play flag football, and then once you're 14, which is basically you're in high school by then that's when you can start tackling, because he knows that, especially with younger kids, to be honest too, they're always going to want to lead with their head. So I feel like that's obviously going to cause more injuries. So if they, postponing it more or longer, then they know that they can at least contain those injuries. And then when they get into high school, they can learn, techniques and ways of not using their head to play in football,
which is so important.
Yeah.
It really is, you guys, and I just feel like that's huge. That is beautiful what he's doing, and honestly, you guys, that's something that was his calling. So he may not be that Hall of Famer one day, but just like, once again, like Coy Wire, did he do the wrong thing? Not at all. He did what he was supposed to.
Yeah.
Coy Wire did what he was supposed to. Maybe he didn't get a Lombardi. Maybe he's not going to get a gold jacket. But at the end of the day, he made his impact, and now look what he's doing, and he can use football to say that was a part of the story to gain him even more success. Awesome stories, right? So, big ups to y'all in the chat room, man. Tonight, we're on it. Mike Pat says here, or actually Adam Karnick says, that there was an 85 Bear, I think it was McMichael, who broke a bone playing and never knew it. Crazy. Training staff told him it was just a bruise and gave him pain pills. Wow.
That's horrible.
Sounds about right. I mean, sadly, but Mike Pat, how many different positions have you played there? Well, I was a center at one point. And when I was a freshman in high school, I played, a little offensive line there, but I definitely played defensive line. I was a nose guard, defensive end, linebacker, mostly in that front seven.
You've played all the positions, basically.
I guess skills, linebacker, but definitely not the DBs.
I know.
I was never a DB or wide receiver or a quarterback. I can't throw for crap, but I can hit the guy who throws, and that's what makes me good. So, I beard that as a taco can wait. What?
He said I heard that as a taco can wait.
Oh,
I meant tackle. I don't know if I said that. I probably didn't say it clearly. Tackle. Tackling.
Can wait. Heard, not beard. You guys have been fun in the chat room tonight. We appreciate y'all so very much for being here. Man, that was a lot of fun. Glad we got that show in. Hey, but once again, success, you guys. So let's see who's going to be successful this year in the NFL. Who's going to be successful in life. Let's hope we can all get there, you guys. And let's keep it going and being that success every day. So, any last words for our listeners tonight?
Thank you for listening. Take care, be safe, and stay healthy.
Please do. Show us some love, y'all. IESportsRadio.com. Get a t-shirt. We got all kinds of crap on there. T-shirts, Razorbacks. We're going to be getting probably some sweatshirts soon and everything, more long sleeves. So we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Check out our hats, planetjerky.net. Order you some jerky. Planet Jerky, delicious premium brisket jerky. And of course, big ups to the man above. Of course, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, nothing is possible. But thank you guys all so very much for being here tonight in the chat room. You guys are amazing. Stay tuned for Mike Pat with that delicious Sauvignon Blanc. Hope I said it the right way. Tonight, for my beautiful wife Cecilia, for me, your boy Larry B, we are signing off. Follow us at IE Sports Radio all over social media. Also at TSCP_IESR for the show here, the Sports Club Perspectives. Show us some love. We appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all coming on up next week. So once again, y'all, for my beautiful wife Cecilia, from me, your boy Larry B, take care, and as always, God bless.